We're live. We're
Hey
live.
everyone, this is Luke, powering on.
Oh wait, let me. Okay, sorry. I was just checking a thing. Never mind. Yeah, sorry. No. Sorry for going back and forth there. Forgot to do the studio mode
Do I need
thing.
to say my thing
No,
again?
you don't. No, you don't. You were
Oh, okay,
unmuted.
okay.
We're good. We watched Spider-Man 3, guys. We were talking, and also before this, we started talking about the Manosphere a little bit. These
We
two
did.
things may be related.
It kind of is.
It surprisingly it is. Okay, first off, I want to put the baseline down, right? The baseline, which is that this is not as bad as I was expecting, nor is it as bad as some of the other movies we've suffered through.
Yeah,
It's
because I
yeah.
think yeah, I think especially after coming out of the mediocre valley, this is a good refresher of things. It's not as good as the other Spider-Man,
Far worse.
but,
So much worse.
But it still had a
but,
pulse to a few things we liked about the previous
exactly, like,
There
Spider-Mans.
were
we were
times where it was
actually actively
competent.
engaging with it.
There were times where it
Exactly.
was like funny and entertaining on purpose, you know? Um It's just that most of the problems with Spider-Man 3 are structural, right?
Yeah.
It is in many ways relatively solid, and that this is a movie that you can watch and get entertainment out of, and you don't feel like you completely wasted your fucking time. However, it's not good, right? It's not good. I think me and Luck do have a bit of nostalgia for it, maybe Luck more so
Oh,
than
me
me.
especially.
Yeah, but we all did kind of at the end accept that, like, this isn't good. It's it's not going to go as low on the list as I thought it would. Relative to the first two movies, it deserves to be quite low, but relative to some of the other things we've seen like Daredevil, Elektra, Incredible Hulk, this was fine.
I
Blade
yeah,
Trinity,
this is
Captain
definitely going to
America.
be yeah, this definitely might be me a bit nostalgia blind. I would also say above the other Fantastic Four, because when it came
Yeah.
to that movie, I found a lot of it unengaging or a tad problematic. Uh, it was mainly the Ben storyline that I was like, hell yeah, I'm loving this. Whereas with this movie, I didn't have any parts I actively was like, go on with it already. It was
Yeah.
I'm
just
gonna
like,
pull the plug.
It's engaging.
yeah, exactly. Sure, there was some parts that drug on, some parts that could have been elaborated on, other parts just kind of spaghettied, if that makes sense.
Well, and Peter Parker's
Yeah.
character feeling out of character at times too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Peter is
Spaghettied.
a
That's a big one.
dick in this. He's really quite awful.
And it's before
Yeah.
the black suit too. It's not just when he gets the black suit. Like he was a
Yeah.
jerk before that.
Yeah, I can tell that they were trying to do a thing of like, their powers getting to his head, but like that ain't
For fame.
Peter. Yeah, the fame. But like that ain't Peter.
It
That
really
ain't.
isn't. The fact
No.
the fact that he's already on the cheat on MJ with Gwen Stacy train before the black suit ever becomes a factor is that in particular felt a little beyond what I would
His
expect
character.
Peter
He
to
would never do
do,
that.
right? And him laying hands on MJ was, I mean, that did prompt a heel turn, but that was almost shocking to me. And it's funny, they go so far with his character, but they're at the same time so hesitant with some of the villains here. So there's three villains in this movie. That's probably this movie's biggest problem, the fact that it feels like three
Yeah.
different movies smushed together poorly. Right?
Yeah, you could have
Yeah.
had. Yeah.
It would have been fine if there was like one main villain and maybe a plan B, but to add on a plan C on top of it, it was
Yeah.
like switching back and forth like a PowerPoint slideshow.
So there's like an A plot, a B plot, and a C plot, right? The A plot is that Harry is still out for revenge, and then he gets amnesia for a little bit and threatens MJ, and then Peter blows his face up. That is it's that feels very truncated, but legitimately that is how it is presented. He gets amnesia, and then almost immediately it is undone,
Thunk.
and he is angrier than ever, to the point where it was like, what was the point of any of that? There's actually a moment where I forgot how the plot line went, so I assumed that he was faking, and that would have been more interesting. um
It would have
yeah.
been exactly the same if he was faking.
Hmm.
There was like two scenes where he was still legitimately had amnesia.
Yeah. B
Yeah.
plot
B plot,
involves
Man is Sand.
no, that's C
Sandman.
plot. That's C plot. Let's be real.
Oh,
No,
B
really?
plot
I
is
would say it's
Venom.
B
B
plot.
plot is
No,
Venom.
no. I would say Sandman is B plot because
Okay.
it ties in with the whole anger
Oh
aggression
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, because
And that, but you're,
the whole
especially
Flynn
Uncle's
was
killer's still alive.
yeah, the whole like
his
Sandman was
crash
secretly
out.
the one that actually shot him, which is such a soap opera move. It's really funny, honestly. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah. Then I would say C
That
plot.
was
Yeah,
yesterday.
C plot is
And then
Venom,
Venom's
and
the
then
C
D
plot.
plot
Yeah, C
is
plot.
Eddie Brock.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Basically, yeah, right. Because there's the Black Suit Spider-Man arc, which is as I was explaining to you guys,
Speed
more
run.
accurate to the animated series than the
Yeah,
comics.
the 90s.
Yeah, yeah. Which I showed you guys a few episodes of. Maybe if I cared enough about this movie, I would have had us sit down and watch those few episodes. But since this is 4th of July weekend, we were pretty strapped for time.
All walking dead, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a shame that Captain America didn't coincide for this one, but what can you do? Um, so there were there's the whole like black suit Spider-Man thing, which is mostly cringe and sometimes kind of fun, sometimes kind of interesting.
It was fun
Like
for the montage.
yeah, the montages are fun, but it mostly it just falls a little flat because you're like, well, Peter was already like this
A
before.
bit of a dick.
Yeah, he was already like this. Nothing's really
Yeah,
functionally changed.
they try to say it amplifies things,
Mm.
but like, Peter's not supposed to be baseline a bit of a dick.
No. Can you even imagine like Andrew Garfield or Tom Holland doing any of what this version of Peter did? Like any of it?
I could
No.
imagine Tom Holland dancing on a table at a jazz club in front of his ex.
Well, yeah, but cheating on her in the process?
That part, no.
Could you imagine him cheating on Michelle Jones? Could you
No.
could you imagine him cheating
No.
on Zendaya, his like real life wife?
I could imagine him being a silly little guy and dancing teasily at a club, okay?
Yeah.
I can see him doing
Listen.
silly little dances, but the context around those silly little dances matter.
Yeah.
Listen, if he in Spider-Man Homeless decides to dance at a club in front of Michelle Jones, I would buy it.
Mm. But not with the circumstances that were presented here, and not pushing
No, not at
her
all.
like that. The way I even remember how in No Way Home he like freaks out over just a little like cut on her forehead, and yeah, he would never. But in the background, right,
My Peter would never.
there's Eddie. My Peter would never. In the background, there's like a whole plot with Eddie Brock, right? That's the D plot, right? Where there's a new photographer on in town, and he's after Peter's job, and
Specifically, the staff job, the corporate job, the nice
yeah,
cush job.
yeah, and rather like. Okay, so here's the thing, right? They were going for a thing of like Peter makes his own villains, right? He's acting so badly that he ends up pissing off Eddie Brock, and it ruins their relate. He burns this bridge with this person. But the issue here is that Eddie Brock is entirely in the wrong. That's the issue, right? He's entirely in the wrong, right? So what Peter busts Eddie for, what he gets him fired for, is that Eddie plagiarizes one of Peter's photos, and in the process slanders Spider-Man.
Not just To elaborate further, he doesn't just plagiarize. He plagiarizes, edits to falsely accuse Spider-Man of something, thus also committing libel.
It was like several layers of wrongdoing, which could have
All are very illegal.
Yeah, definitely could have resulted in
For
some
a journalist,
lawsuits.
yeah.
Definitely could result in some lawsuits. It was definitely well within Peter's right, as the person who took the original photo, to call him out on that. Peter's just completely in the right here. Yeah, like I can't even imagine like not black suited Spider-Man letting that go, because that's ridiculous.
If they
No.
if they just played it with Peter being more affable, I would be like, okay, yeah, that's just the standard storyline I feel like I could see out of the cartoon.
Yeah.
Of just like, oh no, someone's spreading lies about Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man can't deal with it. Peter must deal with it, and then does that.
So I'm actually not sure if that is more comic accurate, honestly. But what I do know is that I've definitely seen this dynamic play off a lot better. I particularly like the way the dynamic plays in Spectacular Spider-Man, for example, where Eddie and Peter start off as really good friends, and and Spectacular Spider-Man is actually really good at portraying like Peter's double life as causing legitimate issues with his personal life, because he burns that bridge quite thoroughly in a way that is like dramatic, uncomfortable, but also pretty realistic. Maybe not realistic because comic books, but realistic in that if you were in Eddie's
More
position, yeah, you'd
grounded.
be pretty pissed at him too. It's
Mhm.
it's it's done very well, is what I'm saying, and they also very much sell the idea that they were very close, good friends at one point, and that is a part of why the shift is so extreme, right?
Mhm.
Uh, where here it is just it's just not great, right? Eddie just kind of feels quite forced. The fact that before Eddie even has Venom, he's in church praying for Peter for God to kill Peter Parker. Um,
Peter Piker picked a
yeah,
pickled
yeah,
pepper.
yeah, exactly.
I couldn't say that. I'd stutter.
The fact that he's even doing that is it just feels kind of eye rolling right at the end of the day. I remember for a little while, with the Superman movie, people were making jokes of like who's the biggest hater, Lex or Eddie, and like the thing is Lex,
Yeah.
right? Like because
Yeah.
Eddie's just feels so forced. It's not well written enough to really buy it as like proper hating.
Yeah. And like I love the scene. It just this kind of comes out of nowhere. Like,
Hmm.
bro, you kind of did this to yourself.
Yeah, it's it's not a part. We were trying to say at one point that like all three movies could have potentially been okay, but instead it's like three movies all
A
smushed
mess.
together into one. And I will actually maybe take that back a little bit, honestly, because the Green Goblin movie that we're presented with is pretty poor, right? Harry getting amnesia is not a plot that anyone wants to see.
No one want that.
It's
No
it's
one
soap
wanted that.
opera bullshit. Like, no, like no, I no, I would not want to see that movie. Actually, Eddie Brock is horribly portrayed. The black suit Spider-Man arc is okay. Maybe it needed some reworking, but honestly, I have a feeling the script probably had one too many drafts. I have a feeling that's the issue here. And Sandman, it's actually pretty good. Like that's actually like his is actually done. I wish we were watching a Sandman movie, is what I'm saying. I wish we were watching a Sandman movie so badly, actually.
Here, allow me to say a quote from my favorite streamer.
Hmm.
Sandman is the best Spider-Man villain.
Yeah,
You said that like what, 3 times?
with me, did I?
You said that like during
Oh,
the
damn.
movie.
Okay.
I'm quoting you, dumbass.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. I was doing like, huh? Who's he quoting? That's a huh. Interesting.
You dumbass.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I don't know if I actually mean that. I don't know if I actually meant that. But like, but Sandman is a very good Spider-Man villain.
You might have meant it in the context of the best in this movie.
The best in all the movies. Honestly, is the thing. Like I like, except for maybe Willem Dafoe's, just his performance, just in general. But
Yeah.
Sandman is a pretty deeply empathetic villain. They always kind of try and soften him, and with the way that they write him, he is just kind of always a treat. I just quite like him. But as far as comics go,
I just think he's neat.
I'll take a well written Eddie Brock over Sandman most of the time. But we don't always get a well written Eddie Brock, so I'll take what I can get. But
We don't
yeah,
always get an Eddie
of
Brock.
course I prefer him to goddamn Mysterioso or whatever. Like, who cares about that guy? Oh, he's played by Jake Gyllenhaal. Whatever. Whatever.
The way you said that makes me very excited for once we get in the far future of the Spider-Man review.
Yeah, I'll start getting pissy about some of the villains for sure. Like I mean I don't think any of them are like bad. Honestly, I kind of like the villains in those Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, but the Amazing Spider-Man villains are quite bad in my opinion. The Garfield ones, those are quite bad.
Yeah, there was Electro and the Lizard, right?
Yeah, and there's also that version of Goblin, which is like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. As much as I don't
They have a
like,
Goblin?
they do. They everyone forgets that he looks horrible. Um,
Why do I keep forgetting this?
yeah. As much as I really dislike James Franco's Harry over here, the Amazing Spider-Man one is way worse. But speaking of that, let's actually talk about James Franco's Harry because from the beginning I said that they fumbled his character, and this definitely affirms that to me that like, oh yeah, you guys messed up. You guys messed up here, and like also if I'm censoring my language a little bit more, like the tiniest smidgest more, it's because I think there's kids in the house right now, and I'm just like
Oh, okay,
I'm
okay.
trying not to say a swear word every 5 seconds. Instead, I'm trying to keep to about every 5 minutes. Um,
Improvement is
yeah,
difficult, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
understand.
Addiction is a hell of a thing. Um,
If I don't say fuck every 5 seconds, I will spontaneously
yeah, I
combust.
start sweating.
I get the shakes.
Yeah, yeah. So, James Franco's Harry has been fumbled from the very beginning, right? Because the issue was that they wanted Willem
Never.
Dafoe. They wanted Norman to come across as more sympathetic and more charismatic, so they softened him, right? But the thing is that
Yeah,
Norman's always been a
they never
horrible,
really
yeah.
focused.
Norman's always been a
Horrible
horrible,
person.
horrible father in the comics, so they softened him here, and they basically make it where Harry more or less comes across as a whiny brat, where originally he's honestly a relatively compelling character. Um, I will actually specifically point toward Spectacular Spider-Man for sure. That one's oh my god, that version of Harry is so good. We're gonna watch Spectacular Spider-Man after this, by the way. You guys don't have a choice. Um,
Alrighty.
oh yeah, yeah. I have a copy. I have a copy procured through means. You're gonna watch it through
Memes.
means. Um, Harry is Harry's getting that one. I also actually really like him in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the new CG show. That version of Harry, where Harry and Norman are black. That one is really good as well. And that one also
Love
actually
the
shows us
wave.
somewhat softer Norman. We love the waves. We love the waves. That one actually threads the needle pretty well of showing us Norman that is both softer yet also objectively a bad father.
He did not care for his son in the slightest.
Yeah, but he's not like
Mhm.
a horrible person. Quickly, I don't think have you seen that one? We watched it in
Were you
Discord like
there
a
with
while
us when
ago.
we saw it? Yeah.
Hmm.
I think I did.
Hmm. Okay. Did you see Spider-Man get stabbed in that one?
It was
It
great.
was. Oh, Norman in that one
It was
he's a lot softer in that he's very much a positive mentor figure to Peter, but he does so at the expense of his relationship with his son in a way that is like honestly kind of interesting.
yeah.
Well, and we all know neglect can make monsters, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
He was the one causing the neglect.
But that's the main thing, right? Norman is horrible. Norman's like supposed to be horrible, right? Like he kills Gwen Stacy. He is like he's a very personal kind of villain to Peter. And he's very horrible to his son, which causes a cascading effect that causes Peter's I'm gonna fuck up his name so many times, causes Peter's relationship with Harry to be strained, causes Harry long-term like mental anguish and issues basically as he's sorting through everything with his father, causes Harry to stumble into villainy, right? I think I said in an earlier stream that Harry's story is the story of an abused kid that became their father, right? They became their abuser. And that's a really tragic story, but it's not one that's necessarily untrue or even uncommon.
Mhm.
And to remove that element, Harry just becomes a spoiled brat.
Which basically is exactly how he
It's how he is here.
what's the phrase?
yeah, he's
For
spoiled
the
brat.
curse fruit of the cursed, something like that.
Yeah.
He was ruined from the start, basically, like you said.
Yeah, but Harry, and the fact that he's played by James Franco, who has This is my personal bias. He just has a kind of he has a kind of punchable face to me. Like
You don't like his
Mhm.
face.
it's cuz he was in that piece of shit Oz the Great and Powerful. I hate that thing. Hate that movie so much.
That was a random
Yeah,
reference.
I
Tell
hate
me
that
more.
movie so
No,
much.
wait, no. After stream, after stream.
He plays Oz in that movie.
Oh,
But
okay,
like
okay.
in but like it's like it's a very bad Oz movie. It's a very bad Wizard of Oz
Mhm.
movie.
I've seen it. I get it.
Yeah. Mila Kunis, why did they do that to you? Why why did they do that to you?
I'm gonna be honest. That's
Uh
like the last thing I remember Mila Kunis in.
oh gosh. I mean, she still gets work, you know?
Okay, good for her.
Yeah. But he's anyway, where even was I? James Franco has a punchable face. But yeah, he's
Very punchable face.
yeah, very punchable. Yeah, Harry just doesn't come across like a character particular in this one at all because he doesn't have really time to, right? Again,
Well, yeah,
he
because once again, it's
yeah.
too many villain arcs going on to the point where none of them were really built up
There's
to the point
so
of where they could be too much to chew.
there's
They
so
took too big
much
of a bite and too much to chew here.
yeah. If the Fantastic Four movie doesn't leave an impression because it has nothing in particular going on at the end of the day, this one doesn't leave an impression because it has far too much going on, and none of it has any proper time to sit or process or develop. Um, I've heard things about how maybe this one was packed with so many villains because they wanted more toys. I'm not sure about that. I might be misremembering or confusing this with another Spider-Man movie, but either way, uh
Too many writers in the room that wanted to write a story with their favorite villain.
yeah, I mean, something happened here, but this script got a little overcooked, and yeah, it just wasn't was not working well. We barely even reached half an hour, and I kind of feel like I've said all that I need to say. What else is there to say?
Really?
What else is there to say?
Let's talk about
We could try
we can talk
talking
about
about the
the funny
plot.
bits, the intentional funny bits that we thought were funny.
When was that?
Oh yeah, that too.
The blood pressure scene,
Oh my god, that was really funny. There's
that
a
was
whole
really
bit.
funny.
There's a whole bit with like J. Jonah Jameson has a bit with his blood pressure. And there's like he's like surrounded by medications, and Betty Brant is just doing a buzzer saying your wife told me your wife told me you need to watch you need to watch your blood pressure, JJ. It's
And
great.
he has to have so much self-restraint just to say thank you. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
tries to eat the right medication and he keeps grabbing the wrong one.
It felt like they were trolling the actor a little bit, and that it felt like the actors were having fun, right? Like that's the kind of fun
Yeah.
that you like to see. Right? Despite everything, from what I understand, this movie was at the very least more pleasant than some of the X-Men movies that we've seen as far as production goes. Like I don't think this one was miserable, though sometimes mileage may vary as far as Tobey Maguire being a bit of a prima donna sometimes. Stories vary as far as that goes. From what I understand, it's not he's not like a bad guy, but sometimes he can be a little tough to work with, from what I understand.
Mhm. Yeah, and also another thing to probably bring up. Wasn't there also like a thing where Peter was pooling, as much as I hate to say. Basically, he kind of got with Betty, kind of. Remember one of Eddie Brock's main motivations of like, "Fuck you,
You
Peter."
mean Gwen?
No, Betty. What did I miss see something? Like, didn't they have a moment in the office? No,
Quicksby,
wait, fuck. No,
Quicksby.
I meant Gwen.
Quick. Okay, okay. I'm like Quicksby. Weigh in. Wasn't that Gwen? She was
I
blonde,
don't.
right?
Wait, no,
She was blonde,
I
right?
forgot. I forgot. I'm stupid.
Yeah, she was blonde, right? Yeah, the Gwen.
Yeah, yeah, we forgot to mention. Eddie was like kind of, sort of with Gwen,
Yeah, yeah.
and then Peter came in.
Mm-hmm. Kind of swept her off her feet, started smooched her as Spider-Man, and then danced with her as Peter. And more props to her, she
Dance.
was quite
Got ugly.
embarrassed when she realized that he did it all just to impress MJ. She like left. She was very apologetic. That was honestly uncomfortable, affectionate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
she was great because like they got in, she's like, "Oh, I didn't know your ex was gonna be here. We can leave. I don't mind." And like, you know what? That's very kind and generous of you. Looks at Peter.
Yeah, it was honestly though one of those things where it's like again, I wish that Eddie's side of the story was a little bit more mean spirited. I that to me felt a bit like they
That was
didn't
rough.
want Gwen, who is a comic character who has fans, to come across as being too negative
Mhm.
and too much of a
Yeah,
bitch.
that's fair.
Yeah. So they kind of kept things to like mild. You know, they kept things to like a minimum. As far as that goes, I just wish that Eddie's part of the script was like a little meaner to him. Honestly, Eddie should suffer more for that fall to make sense. He just should. Eddie's arc in the comics is interesting. He goes from just number one hater to in a loving consensual vor relationship with his best alien pal,
That
and
is
their
the
three
best way to
kids.
phrase that.
Yeah.
Wait, 3 kids?
Are you not aware of the Venom kids?
No.
I heard about them.
You're
I
not
wasn't
aware of the
aware.
It
Venom
No,
kids?
no,
what, do you mean like Carnage? Like the
No.
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 I just
all
heard
right,
that they
tell me
get it
more. Tell me
on.
more.
No, Eddie gives
What?
birth.
That's actually insane.
Okay, tell
Oh
me
my
more.
god.
We need
Okay,
it.
okay, okay. So if you aren't aware, right, at one point Venom like separates himself to make like little like
Okay.
symbiote little mini symbiotes, right? Little baby symbiotes. But in the comics the way that this is framed is really funny because it's framed where the first time you find out that something's up is that Eddie gets morning sickness. So
What?
everyone's like, they did Mpreg. Let's go. That's how
That's
everyone says
actually
it.
crazy.
It's pretty crazy. It's great. It's like top 10 like comics. What did you mean by that? No, I know what you meant by that. I'm
That's actually
it
crazy.
I
is. It
love
is. I
comics.
love comic books so much. This is why I read them, guys. It's for the moments like these. Um But yeah, I honestly I think that like Venom, Black Suit Spider-Man, all that stuff in the comics, and maybe the original Black Suit Spider-Man arc was a little boring because it had a lot of crossover with I think Secret Wars. So there's a lot you have to rearrange in order to make it make sense. So most of the time people just default to the animated version because that one cuts out the Secret Wars stuff entirely and also has a much more strong emotional arc about like Peter going down the dark side, where that was literally not a concept in the original comic version. Original comic version, it's all like, oh no, the new suit's taking me on joy rides. Mr. Fantastic, please help me get rid of it, because Fantastic Four are involved.
Of course they are.
Yeah, they're all
New York's a small
crossovers.
place.
Yeah, it is. Um, so the defaulting the animated version just makes sense because it's a good template. Everything works. But comic Venom is honestly a lot of fun. It is. I was recommending to Luck this one little limited comic series they did of Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood, which is like a black, white, and red limited series. They do those sometimes for some comics. We'll do like a black, white, and red thing. They did one for Harley
It
Quinn
looked
not too
very
long ago.
cool.
Looks very cool. Each chapter is like is its own is another like a different artist does each chapter. It's their own take on the concept of Black Suit Spider-Man. Some of which doing it is basically just a what if they were able to get along, or others taking a more dark turn with it. And they're all just really cool and good, and it's like one of my favorite Marvel things that they've made in a long while. I unironically like it significantly better than the Ultimate Spider-Man thing they did recently, which was really boring in the end. That was really disappointing.
What happened with that one?
um just kind of faffs about for a bit. Like the issue is that like nothing happens. The issue is that not much
Oh, I
happens.
see.
Like things keep on like it keeps on threatening to get interesting and then just doesn't, and just in the end it's like, well, they got Kingpin. They did the thing. They got him in the papers. Yay.
Oh.
It's like
Yay.
yeah, it's like a lot of interesting concepts to string you along. Like, oh, Gwen is a part of the Mysterio clan, and we have Harry who is being Green Goblin, but he's working with Peter, and oh, Harry died, and it's like a lot of it ends up resolving in the least interesting way possible. Like, ooh, Harry died. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Like,
What do you mean? Harry blew up. Don't you remember?
yeah, it's like oh, Gwen is part of the Mysterio coalition or whatever, and it's like yeah, um, she's got to like kind of make a choice, I guess, but it's whatever. They get a divorce, and it's like
Mhm.
oh, it's like Ben and JJ start a newspaper together to take down Kingpin, and it's like it works. It's like ah okay.
I mean, I will admit, I mean, I like Spider-Man, but he's not my favorite.
He's fun when he's
Spider-Man
done
is a
well.
lot of people's favorite.
He's
Yeah.
fun when he's done well, but I think
Yeah,
I think the issue is that like I don't know. I think Spider-Man has two modes, right? Where he's either incredibly boring or incredibly sauceless. Or maybe the worst kind where they just put too much sauce in and now he is kind of horrible, right? He's a character that needs like that needs balance really to like get him really well. But yeah, I don't know. Marvel Comics has been, in my opinion, heavily falling behind as of late. Aside from maybe a few spare runs here and there. Uh,
that's fair.
Ultimate X-Men by Peach Momoko, that was good, but that's Peach Momoko, so you know that was gonna be good.
Mhm.
Um, you guys don't know who that is. It's okay.
No.
Not in the slightest.
Yeah.
Nope.
Her X-Men run was good. They're whenever they do limited stuff and just like let artists kind of do their thing, it's cool. But like it otherwise just there just hasn't been much of anything really interesting in a while. Where like on the other hand, the DC stuff has honestly been pretty good. The Absolute series, banger. Even just the mainline Nightwing stuff has been good. Like, yeah.
Mm. I should get into a
Not my
DC
thing.
comic. Maybe Absolute Superman, because I got the trade paperback for the first one and second one.
Yeah. I gotta. I
Yeah, I
actually.
still haven't read the second one. My favorite, or just absolute bars of a line. We pray for the Superman's rage.
I got this. I got the second Absolute Batman trade paperback sitting on my shelf. I gotta read that sometime. Um. But yeah. Uh. We're at the point where we're talking about other things. Please
Yeah,
bring up
because
another
like,
movie topic.
all right. We should probably do a brief overview of some of the plot stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think we did that. I think we kind of just jumped straight into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, more or less. Movie starts off. Peter B. Spider-Man. Things are going well for him, which is always a terrible sign for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He seems to definitely be letting some of the fame go to his head because very quick on, it's like, oh, Harry. Oh, fuck, I forgot that scene was very early on. Harry comes by, jumps Spider-Man. Oh, and something I actually did kind of like how Peter wasn't exactly fighting, well, at least for most of it. Instead, a lot of the tension was like, shit, I can't lose Aunt May's ring. I kind of like that. I don't know, what about you? It
Yeah.
didn't care.
Yeah. Right. It just like even listening to it, I'm just like, yep, that sure is how it goes. Right. Yeah. A lot of it is just kind of faffing about being like Peter wants to propose to MJ, and MJ is having literally the worst day of her life, but she's gonna put that aside for her man, and
Yeah.
Peter's gonna pretend to learn some lesson about putting his woman first, and it
Oh
mostly
yeah,
just
that
feels
was
like
like
yeah,
And not talk about himself the entire time.
he never
yeah, that
really
was
learns the
actually like the
lesson
main thing
either.
Aunt May said.
No, he
No,
doesn't.
not really. Yeah, because Aunt May said like, "Oh yeah, Ben tried to marry me, but like we agreed that it was too early on." And Peter, make sure you always put your needs below the needs of your partner. And then he was like,
And then he
pizza
proceeds to
time.
not to, and he
Oh,
proceeds to learn nothing outside of don't do black suit Spider-Man because that's cringe.
Yeah. So basically, like every time him and MJ interact, it's kind of very bad.
You know, there was actually one scene in particular that I think I called out as like if they shifted this one little thing, it would make the scene 5,000 times better. Percy, fucking Peter has been horrible to MJ this whole movie, right? And there's a scene where Harry threatens her into breaking up with Peter, right? And I thought,
Yeah.
what if during this scene we didn't know that Harry had threatened her? What if we just actually assumed that Peter had messed up and that MJ was breaking up with him and then it wasn't working with her. And then later on we find out that she was threatened and there were extenuating circumstances to, let the getting back together thing happen a little better. But it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, what if we as the audience has had to sit with this idea that Peter has been bad to her and that his actions actually have like consequences, right? Even if
Consequences.
just for a second.
yeah.
And the fact that they couldn't give us that is I don't like that. I don't like what that says about where this movie's head is at. Because that would have
Yeah.
definitely been a better scene where during the scene you're basically bored out of your mind because you're like, I know exactly how this is gonna go, and it goes exactly how you think it's gonna go because Peter is on Harry's door literally the next scene being like, I know you threatened her because obviously he did.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
if they
Like
hid it
it
from
kind
us and
of
Peter had
robbed
to
some of
sit
that
on it,
tension.
yeah,
Peter didn't
and then he
suffer his
blows him up. Then he
consequences.
then
He
he
should
then
have.
he then he two faces him.
Yeah. We should probably, or I want to specify. I feel like in this, Peter didn't suffer his natural consequences of his actions.
Yeah.
In fact, it kind of was inverted in some places. Like Eddie kind of wasn't his fault. The symbiote, a little his fault, but MJ was his fault. Didn't suffer nothing for that one. Because there was even a scene where MJ comes by saying like, "Hey, I know we've had like a very bad date. By the way, failed proposal. I'll get into that in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
But like, May told me what happened. I'm here for you. Uh, and you want to know how Peter acts, everybody? Peter says, "Fuck off, I'm fine," and completely emotionally walls her off.
Yeah. It's I
And
think
like,
continue.
yeah, and like he was even calling her in the previous scene of like, "Hey man, I want to talk with you. It feels like things weren't right after we left." And yeah, then the I almost said Ant-Man, no, Sandman reveal is like, "Oh yeah, his killer." Like recentering a little with the cause and effect that seemed to be here, it definitely seemed like for a regular Peter, he would have definitely taken that chance to be a bit more emotionally open, not for Dick Peter.
No, he in this movie he's just it's funny because I think in an earlier film I compared him a little bit to like Star-Lord, and in this one I think he goes the full on Tony Stark honestly. But the funny thing with both of those two characters is that their actions do have consequences. The writers actually seem very aware of the archetype that they're setting up here, and Peter has nothing to do with those two characters. I mean, nothing to do with those two archetypes.
Yeah.
At least his character should not even be within the same neighborhood as those two. And this is kind of where we again go back to like, well, this is what you get with kind of shitty sexist writing, where you get male characters that act like this to the point of their detriment, not just the detriment of female characters. If you're gonna write a character like this and you're not gonna even attempt to critique them or to like just consider that maybe this isn't maybe people shouldn't act this way, then yeah, you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot as a movie. You're gonna just completely cut any idea of actual character growth at the knees there. And it got to the point that by this movie I think everyone had figured out people give him a pass for the first two movies, and we were critical about him there, but this is the movie where everyone is like, yeah, okay, Peter's awful. Like,
And he's not supposed to be.
he's not is the issue, but
That's the
He's not
thing.
supposed to be. That's the thing.
Exactly.
in
Like
yeah.
even back in movie one, I remember Lily explicitly saying, "This is why Peter pools," and it was just him showing off active listening. which is something he forgot here.
He did.
Yeah, he's not using that.
He did. And by
Not in the
even by
slightest.
movie 2, he definitely backslides, because even then I was like, his whole thing about MJ and her fiance, that whole interaction was just so deeply uncomfortable, and that's so
Yeah.
just not Peter. And the fact that he just gets worse and worse with each movie is just not good.
Hypothetical Spider-Man 4. Peter pushes MJ off the roof and catches her and breaks her neck.
Oh god.
He Gwen Stacy's her. That's the trajectory we're
Oh
going
my
on
god,
here. He
maybe.
deeply does not care for her.
Yeah, he really doesn't, is the issue. And again, this doesn't reflect well on MJ either, of course, because MJ is a more active female character than what this is making her out to be. This I kind of blame this movie for like why MJ is looked at as like such a soft character. Where this is where you get that one image that was making the rounds of like MJ in the Spider-Man t-shirt with like the massive cleavage, like sitting on a couch in a way that doesn't make any sense with like a cup of coffee. Have you ever
Oh
seen that?
no,
Okay,
no.
I'll
No?
let me try and find it.
Yeah, I
MJ.
try to search it up, but I fear searching MJ with big boobs and coffee is not something I want on my search history.
Oh God. Okay. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. Let me. I'll share it with the chat over here. Sorry. Sorry.
Everyone join Lily Polydora official Discord.
Yeah. Yeah. Here. Okay. Okay. I put in the book club chat.
Let me see this.
Oh, I have seen that.
Yeah, I blame this movie for why
I
this
have
is
not.
some people's vision of MJ. Where I'm sorry, she's a lot cooler than that. She is. She's not just supposed to be like a sex object. Like she is
No.
sexy, and that she's kind of like the bad girl. She was a bit spicy at the time, which is a part of why I think Michelle Jones is actually a pretty decent
More
like
in line with
modern
this.
interpretation of her character.
Mhm.
But like she's kind of weird is kind of the fun thing about her. She's really forward. She's fun. So it just I don't know. It's just really
Well, she definitely
disappointing.
is not this reserved character. That's not the impression I got from her the last couple movies.
Yeah, it just ends up being majorly disappointing whenever they write her like this. And again, I was comparing her. I was saying that she's more like Gwen in this, but that's even insulting to Gwen, who I think can be a lot more interesting than this. I think Gwen originally in the comics, maybe this is closer to what she was like, but uh, this was not how they were doing Gwen even by this time in the movies. Though at this point, maybe Gwen wasn't actually that common of a character, and like okay, actually Gwen Stacy's history is kind of interesting, right? Because one, if not for Spectacular Spider-Man, actually a lot of people probably would not be all that aware of her, and two, if not for like Spidey Gwen also being a thing, she definitely would have like
Fallen to
double
the wayside.
yeah, doubly fallen to the wayside. So those two things are doing a lot of heavy lifting. So as a result, one Spectacular Spider-Man version of Gwen does take a lot of precedence in people's minds, not only of her being the girl next door, but of her being this kind of quiet nerd type. And two, Spidey Gwen. Uh, obviously,
Spider
yeah.
Gwen. Spider Gwen.
Everyone loves Spider Gwen. Everyone
Everyone
adores
does
Spider
love
Gwen.
Spider-Gwen.
She's
They
great.
do.
She's great, and her ship with Miles is amazing, perfect.
Including myself too. I really like Spider-Gwen.
She's really great. And the aesthetics
Very
are
top.
just the aesthetics are just so on point, and
Yeah.
I love her punk
Very
attitude.
top tier.
Absolute top tier. So, but yeah, it's I don't know. That's kind of it. We're maybe like 7 minutes shy of an hour. Do you want to try and rank this thing? Let me pull up the ranking because now I can actually.
I feel like we
Let's
kind of
pull up
already
the
came to a ranking decision, though.
Was it above Fantastic Four?
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
just above Fantastic Four.
Above Fantastic Four. Spider-Man
That's why I'm
3,
reading the quotes again.
2007. Oh yeah. I'm gonna put some
Do we have
dirt in
any
your
quotes?
eye.
Yes.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Oh, you the quote. I'm gonna put some
I'm
dirt
gonna
in
put
your
some
eye.
dirt in your eye.
Crazy.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Here's the ranking. Here's the
Oh
ranking
wait,
this far.
Mr. Dikovic. I don't know why I want to bring it up. I just found it to be very tender of a moment.
Mm.
All right, so Peter was kind of in his crash out era after finding out Ben's killer was free. Mr. Ditovic, he was just like, "Hey, you got my rent. You'll get your rent when you fix the
When you
damn
fix the
door."
damn door. That was
Yeah,
that was
so he
great.
like opens the door, angrily storms off into it, and then Mr. Ditovic
He's a good boy.
shows some good emotional intelligence there, more than Peter has shown in this entire movie. And he's just like, he's a good boy.
He's a good
Something must
boy.
have happened to him.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
He's so distraught. It's great.
I know, like that's some genuine emotional intelligence. Because like a lot of people would just escalate or hold it against the other person. Nah, next scene of him with Peter is just like, ah, you on the phone? That's all right. That's all right. Let me give you what little advice I have with trying to get a girl. You seem like you need it. You're a kid, and like, you know, respect, Mr. Ditovic.
Absolutely.
Respect. I've said his name like 3 different times, and I think I got them all wrong. But still,
I can't pronounce it either.
yeah, respect.
Let me see.
Shoot, I was really hoping that was going to last us 5 minutes.
No. I'm currently trying to cross-referencing the list over here, just trying to make sure that that everything's good. I'm just like, hey, did I miss
What's
putting
next on
something
the
in the
list?
list? Or I think everything's here. Oh yeah, what is next on the list is please be something good. Please be something good.
It's
Please be
not.
something
It's
good.
not.
No.
It's not.
No, it's
It's
Fantastic
not.
Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. God
Oh
damn it.
no!
God damn
That's
it.
why I was telling you it's
God
not.
damn it.
I think the next good thing is going to be,
Iron
uh,
Man. Iron Man.
yeah.
Oh,
I
it's
mean, how
coming
long do we have
soon.
until Iron Man?
Oh, and that's next. That's after Fantastic Four too.
Oh wait,
Okay.
that's after Fantastic
That
Four. I
is
thought
after
the
Fantastic
Hulk came
Four.
before.
No,
Oh, okay.
no, it doesn't. Thank God.
That's not terrible then.
Yay! I can't believe we're looking forward to the MCU proper. What a
Right?
ride!
Right? Oh my God. And I can't wait for me to sour on the MCU again. For me to turn on it.
Yeah, with the second we finish up the Infinity Saga, things are just gonna go right back downhill. Heck,
Oh
even
yeah.
before it finished up, we'll still have some gripes.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Right, because the thing with the MCU movies is that like a lot of them are just kind of McDonald's-y, right? Like they're consistent, they're reliable, but they're not like good. A lot of
I
them.
like them. No, I didn't like all of them, but I liked a good amount of them.
If I remember right, I think the philosophy was something about you just gotta get on first, something like that.
Yeah.
I saw it
I
in like
don't know.
some interview.
I mean, right, the people call them theme park rides sometimes. But you know,
Martin
I mean,
Scorsese said that.
I like theme parks. I like McDonald's. It's just that I also, it's like I know why they can't I know why it can't be the only thing I eat. I know it's not
Sometimes I need a salad, sometimes I need a steak.
yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. It's like they're not bad. I like McDonald's. I'll fuck up some McDonald's fries. But like
Hey,
you know,
remind me about McDonald's and refunds later just for a dumb story.
okay, sure. Um but yeah. Uh Speaking of, see, now I'm talking about food because it's getting to about the time where I want to eat, and we've been going for
About an hour.
yeah, about an hour.
I've got the munchies too. I gotta make some spaghetti.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna force you guys to watch Spectacular Spider-Man, so stay posted. Um,
Well then,
do the
may I?
outro, do the thing.
Lurkers, chatters, here for a little, here for a while. I think well the same. This is luck powering off. And remember, everyone, lucky days.
And 3, 2, 1. Good
Good night.
night.